A U.S. naval strike group comprised of the nuclear-powered supercarrier USS Carl Vinson and other warships equipped with the Aegis missile defense system is returning to South Korean waters. Our Jung-soo takes a closer look into this unexpected redirection of strategic military assets, which would make North Korea think twice before executing a nuke test or launching a missile.
Last month, the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson arrived in the port city of Busan as part of the South Korea-U.S. annual joint military exercise. The arrival of the strategic military asset was perceived as a reflection of the steadfast alliance between the two countries. After taking part in the drills, the Carl Vinson carrier strike group arrived in Singapore on April 4th and was scheduled to head to Australia. But instead, the Carl Vinson has been redirected back to the Korean peninsula, creating an air of uncertainty and prompting an address by South Korea's defense ministry on Monday.
It's best to understand this decision as part of the South Korea-U.S. alliance's attempt to strengthen its defense readiness, as there are increasing possibilities of a provocation by North Korea, such as a nuclear or missile test.
The return of the Carl Vinson strike group to the Korean peninsula comes just days after the summit between U.S. President Donald Trump and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping, where Trump had reportedly told Xi that Washington was prepared to act on its own and stop North Korea's nuclear program if Beijing was unable to convince Pyongyang to do so. Experts, meanwhile, say that at this point South Korea must work to establish a clear communication channel with the U.S. through its diplomatic and military agencies, as it could potentially become a victim of Washington's military maneuvers.
Some worry that South Korea's voice regarding North Korea is dwindling, but rather I believe Seoul at this point must work harder than ever to understand what Washington really intends to accomplish with deploying this strike group. Some believe preemptive strikes are on the way, but I think it's more probable that the U.S. wants to display its military might and vigilance to North Korea.
The Defense Ministry, meanwhile, has declined to comment on whether the strike group will rejoin the Fall Eagle drills conducted by South Korea and the U.S., which run through the end of the month. Jung-soo, Arirang News.